If you have ever asked yourself, how much do I need to retire? How can I retire early? How do you know when you can retire? Then just keep watching, because today I am going to share with you the top 5 questions that you need to ask yourself to learn when you can retire. Hey guys, what's up and welcome to my channel. My name is Rachel. This is a place where we talk about making, saving, and growing your money. So if that sounds like something that you're interested in, be sure to hit that subscribe button because I post new videos every Monday. The first question that you need to ask yourself when thinking about retirement is, what does retirement look like to you? Or what does retirement look like for you in your life? Regardless of what stage you're at, if you're 20, 30, 40, 50, whatever, there has been a time in your life where you have thought about what you want to do when you are retired. What does that, not having to work anymore life look like for you specifically? I can't sit here and draw a picture of a very specific life because that can't apply to everybody, So you have to be the one to sit here and first off think, regardless of your age, what do you want? Do you want to retire at 35? Do you want to retire at 50? Do you want to retire at 60 or 70? That is something that you need to think about. For this question, it's all right to actually play into your daydream a little bit and fantasize. What does retirement look like to you? Do you want to travel the world? Do you want to buy a big giant house up in the middle of nowhere? Buy a yacht and sail around the world? Just live in the same house that you've lived in for the past 20 years because that's your home and you're happy? What does your retirement look like to you? Nobody else can tell you what your retirement is going to look like. Nobody else is going to tell you what you're going to spend your days doing. That's up to you. Once you've established what your dream vision of retirement is, you can ask yourself question number 2. How will your life change over the years? Depending on what stage you're at in your retirement journey in your life, if you are 18 years old or if you're 30, 40 years old, you might be looking at this from a completely different perspective than each other, So you need to ask yourself, how is your life going to change over the years after you retire? What big events in your life are you going to have that are going to be large investments? If you're retiring at 35, you may want to move a few more times than somebody who may be retiring at 65, who's planning on staying in the same house for the rest of their life. If you're retiring at 35, you may buy a few more cars during your span of retirement than somebody who's retiring at 65 and may only need to buy 1 or 2 over the span of their retirement. Whether it is from 30, 35 on or 60, 70 on. Regardless of how long your span of retirement is going to be, you need to consider what are the things that you will need to consider expense-wise and things that are going to cost large sums of money, like houses, cars, large amounts of travel, things like that that are going to increase your monthly spending habits than you currently have right now. The third question that you need to ask yourself when you're trying to figure out when you'll be able to retire is, what is your current yearly expenses versus your current yearly income? How much money is coming in versus how much money is going out? Typically, during retirement, people are going to be living on salaries that are less than what their current yearly income is. So if you are at a stage in your life where you're living above your means and you're living above your yearly income, then you're not necessarily on track to being able to hit that retirement date whenever it may be. If you are 25 years old and you are living above your means, but you wish to retire at 35, if you are spending more than your yearly income, there's no possible way that you are going to be able to save enough money to be able to retire at 35 and have that money last you throughout your entire retired life. When you compare your yearly income to how much is going out per year, you're able to see how much money are you spending on your mortgage, your utilities, all of your expenses every single month, like food and your subscriptions. How much is your yearly and monthly expenses? So that way you can better understand how much are you going to be needing to pay monthly when you're retired. Will you still be needing to pay your utilities on your house? Probably. Will you still be needing to pay for your car insurance? Of course. There are things that are going to be consistent in your life, regardless of if you're retired or you're still working. And the only way that you will be able to retire is if you have some income source that is going to be able to cover all of these expenses that are going to be continuous, likely throughout the rest of your retired life. Another sub-question to kind of ask yourself for this question is, what is your goal yearly expenses or your goal yearly income? The fourth question that you will need to ask yourself to better understand when you are going to be able to retire is, do you have current financial stability? Are you currently okay with your finances? Are you stable? Do you have that emergency savings? So if you were to lose your job tomorrow, you have that year's salary backup already waiting for you, so you would be okay. You wouldn't have to put yourself into this giant hole if you lost your job tomorrow. I actually have a video dedicated to the bank accounts that you need for financial stability and how you can organize your money to understand what financial stability means for you. So I will link that in the info card above so you guys can check that out and figure out what financial stability specifically means for you and your family. And you will be able to better understand how to set yourself up to be financially stable on a day-to-day, so that way you're never worried about where is this money going to be coming from to pay certain bills, or where is this money going to be coming from if I get into a car accident, or if I need to replace a window, or if anything happens and I have medical expenses that I have to pay for. Being financially stable is something that is absolutely required before you should even be able to consider if you are going to be retiring. You need to make sure that your emergency fund, your bank accounts are okay and that they are not going to be risking going into overdraft or into debt, because that is not how you want to be starting your retirement. So if you are not currently in a financially stable position, that is the first thing that you should be working towards on your retirement journey, on that journey to how can I prepare myself for retirement so I can retire early or I can retire on time, so that way I don't have to work for as long as possible. How can I make sure that I am financially stable enough that if anything were to go wrong or anything were to happen, I'm not taking out of my retirement fund, I'm not taking out of my kids' education fund, I'm not taking out of my mortgage fund or anything like that. And the fifth most important question that you need to ask yourself to understand how okay you're going to be at retirement and when you can retire, and how will you know when you can retire, is how is your current income going to be supplemented? How is it going to be replaced? Where is the money going to be coming from into your bank account every single month to make sure that you're able to live month to month for the span of your retirement, regardless of if you're retiring at 35 or if you're retiring at 65? Where is your income going to be coming from? Here in Canada, there's a few funds that the government pays month to month for retirees over the age of, I think, 60, 65, depending on when you retire. And these things include the Canada Pension Plan, Old Age Security, and Guaranteed Income Supplement. For Americans, the CPP equivalent, I think, is your Social Security. Paying into something like the Canada Pension Plan or into Social Security is something that you can do over the course of your entire career. Usually on your paychecks, you'll see where they're taking off income tax and CPP and all those fun taxes that they take off of your paycheck, but some of those go towards your Canada Pension Plan and paying into these funds. So when you retire, depending on how many years of contribution you had, how much money you were paying into the Canada Pension Plan, they will estimate how much your monthly payments will be for CPP and Old Age Security. And the Guaranteed Income Supplement is a fund that is meant for people who, I believe, make less than $18,000 a year from the CPP and Old Age Security. Another very important income supplement that you will have when you retire is likely to be an employee-funded savings plan. So usually that is a pension that you are paying to your employer. Your employer might match a certain percentage of it, and depending on how much you have paid into that plan over the course of your time working for that company, they will pay you out month to month, depending on what type of plan you choose, and that is another form of monthly payment that you could be getting when you retire. That can depend. It can be very small to somewhat large, depending on what type of plan you have, how much percentage you are paying per paycheck into that plan, how much your employer may match. When you're working somewhere that has an employee savings pension plan, it is definitely something to take advantage of if they are doing matching of any kind. If you put in 3% of your total paycheck and they will match that 3%, that is definitely worth you investing the money paycheck to paycheck into that type of pension plan. So that way you will be able to be paid out month to month when you are retired. So those are options that are all good and well when you are 55 and older, but if you are the type of person who wants to retire early, you want to retire young, you want to have your life to live, different types of ways that you can supplement your income can be things like rental income or investment income, or having side hustles by selling digital products, or finding ways that you can make passive income from home. If you're the type of person that wants to retire young, you want to retire in your 30s or 40s or early 50s, having passive incomes and different streams of income is a great way to be able to supplement that regular paycheck to paycheck that you normally have. So instead of looking at your retirement as a huge number like $425,000 or something crazy like that, I think it's an easier way to look at it as how much money do I need to be making per month when I'm retired to be able to support the lifestyle that I want to have. Because regardless of if you have $425,000 at the time that you want to retire or not, how is that money going to be divided up to be able to support the lifestyle that you want to live? So I think it's important to think about how much money is going to be coming into your bank account every single month at the time of retirement. So regardless of what stage you're actually at in your retirement journey, if you're just starting to save or if you plan on retiring in a few years, it's important to think about what sources of income are you going to have when that day does come. If you enjoyed today's video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so you never miss a new video. I post new videos every single Monday, and so I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. Bye.